I kept my idea in a small black notebook. It was a simple book, bound with an elastic strap. Inside, my notes were a mix of frantic scribbles and careful diagrams. I drew sketches on napkins and taped them to the pages. I built the first small model on my worn kitchen table. The late-night glow of my desk lamp was my only witness. It was a simple and clever device. It was designed to solve a problem that people faced every single day, a small friction in their lives they had come to accept. I named it the Chrono Latch, and I told only a few trusted friends. I believed my creation was safe within my small circle. One Tuesday morning, I was scrolling through an industry news feed online. I saw a link for a product demo. The headline was bold. It promised a revolution in personal efficiency. I clicked. I watched. And then, I froze completely. The new product they unveiled was mine. The sleek minimalist design was an echo of my own sketches. The language in the advertisement, the very words they used, were lifted directly from my notes. My chest tightened. My hands began to tremble. I had poured my heart and my sleepless nights into that idea. The CEO I once admired smiled, speaking with practiced confidence. His success was a mirror reflecting my own erasure. I felt small. I felt invisible. I felt a rising anger. But then, a different thought pierced through the rage. I would not act rashly. No angry emails, no furious rants. Their game was noise and spectacle. I would not play it. My response would be deliberate. I would not be loud. I would not be emotional. I would be smart. I would be methodical. I would take back what was mine, not with a shout, but with a whisper of undeniable proof. I gathered myself and began. The Chrono Latch was born from a simple observation. We waste small but real energy daily. Devices in semi-readiness, draining power for functions needed only intermittently. My idea was mechanical, not software. A tiny spring-loaded latch that physically disconnected power until the exact moment needed. It was elegant. It was efficient. It was entirely my own. The work was slow and painstaking. Weekends hunched over tiny gears, wires, and a soldering iron. The smell of burnt flux in my small apartment. The theft was no heist. It was a quiet betrayal. I had shared my progress with a former colleague, mentor, friend. He was encouraging, curious, admiring its simplicity. 2 months later, he took a senior position at the company, now launching their product. Shock gave way to betrayal, then hardened into a cold, determined resolve. My plan formed as small, deliberate steps. Truth lives in the details. I gathered my story, every email, every receipt, every photograph, every digital breadcrumb. Not a war of words, a war of facts. And I intended to be the sole supplier of the ammunition. My first concrete step, become an archivist of my own work. I made a list of every fact I could remember. When did I name it? When did I buy those microservos? I found a grainy photo of the first prototype, dated, undeniable. The receipts, the parts, building blocks of my story. An email asking circuit advice predated their patent filing by 6 months. A voice memo captured my breakthrough with the latch. I made backups. Then I sought knowledge. 1 hour with a patent lawyer. Not a perfect patent, he said, but powerful prior art. 2 paths, costly battle, or strategic credit. I chose strategy. I kept public silence, built quietly, and sought a credible witness. That was my approach, quiet and deliberate. I met Alistair, a respected designer. I laid out dated photos, a voice memo, and my schematics. No accusations, only facts. He knew the artifacts of real design work. He pointed to a minute detail in my third prototype.
This is interesting.
A tiny L-shaped catch to reduce friction and save microwatts. Weeks of trial and error. Not an obvious committee choice.
This is your fingerprint. It's too specific. It's too personal.
Armed with that, I wrote a short, polite email. No accusations, no threats. I asked technical questions about their latch, attached my dated photo. I had baited the hook. Now I waited. Their response came from a lawyer, long, intimidating, claiming proprietary research and fundamental differences. I opened their drawing and compared it to my photo. They were almost identical. A single, non-functional curve changed by less than a millimeter. They thought it gave plausible deniability. Instead, it was their confession. Their lawyers stopped answering. The wall of silence went up. I sent a clear timeline and the side-by-side to a respected industry journal. A writer called, asked incisive questions, and understood the fingerprint. A plain factual piece went live. Timeline, images, and a call for the company to respond. Tech sites echoed it. Engineers analyzed. People talked, quietly, inquisitively. The pressure worked. I didn't want to fight. I wanted acknowledgement. They agreed to meet. I arrived alone with my notebook, receipts, a voice memo, and the side-by-side, mounted and undeniable. I spoke steadily, no accusations. I told my process, walked dates, played the memo, and showed the latch. 2 faces were masks. A younger engineer glanced between files and the board, then went pale. He asked to speak privately. When they returned, the pretense was gone. The quiet confidence I maintained proved stronger than loud denials. In the end, they agreed to my terms. It was not a courtroom victory. It was a private settlement. They credited me for the latch mechanism and paid a fair, one-time licensing fee. My name appeared on the product site and in the technical documentation. Not a massive public win, but real. A week later, under technical specifications, chrono latch mechanism co-invented by my name. Quiet messages arrived from engineers and designers. Years later, the product remains, iterated. But my latch is still inside. The principle endures. Sometimes I spot it on a shelf or in someone's hands on a train and feel a quiet surge of pride. I think of the quiet, deliberate steps I took, the black notebook, the saved receipts, the grainy photos, the calm voice I chose, the moment I decided to be strategic, not loud. The lesson: keep good records, stay calm, use your evidence. Justice is not always a thunderclap. Sometimes it is a quiet correction, but it can come.